poppin' YouTube? My name is coreyxmadison. Thank you so much for joining me. So as you can tell by the title of this video, today I'm going to be doing a chit chat get ready with me. This is a style of video I've been wanting to do for a long time because I always love commentary channels, but I also know you guys really love my makeup tips and I like doing it. So I figured the perfect marriage together, we would talk about something while I do my makeup, and thus the chit chat get ready with me was born. So I know you guys have already looked at today's topic, so without further ado, no more interruptions, let's get straight into the video. Let's go! So summer is coming up, right? You know, wigs retired. You see, I don't even have my wig on anymore. Took my hair down. By the way, if you think my hair looks unkept because I didn't do my edges, you're anti-black. Congratulations. So yeah, so I was, you know, perusing on Instagram, right? And I was like, oh yeah, like I definitely want braids this summer. That's totally a vibe, but I haven't had braids for a while. I've been really on a wig kick as of lately. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, dang, okay, so yeah, I'm gonna find a braider and such and such and such and such. So I go to a mall and there's this girl, she has these beautiful braids. And so I ask her, yo, like, where did you get your braids done, sis? And she gives me the and so later in the day I go and I like check this lady's page. And so I go to this lady's page, and when I tell you, her policy was straight out of a fucking nightmare. This bitch had 45 million rules. And then I remembered that some girls on TikTok had been complaining about this same thing for quite a while now, that braiders, not hairstylists, braiders, so maybe it's not just me, maybe it's, you know, everybody. Let's just have a conversation about, you know, are braiders
fucking scammers?
And so today we're going to be dissecting that. We're going to be talking about, you know, are braiders overpriced? If they are, why are they overcharging? We're going to go over some of the policies most braiders had. We're just going to dissect, dissect, and talk about it. So let's get started, shall we? So the general consensus that I've seen on TikTok for what makes braids overpriced, medium, so small, medium, knotless braid. The consensus, at least on TikTok, most of these girls were saying they wouldn't pay over like $400 for braids. And I'd have to agree with that. I think the most I've ever paid for some braids was probably like $200, $250 for like long braids to the butt. But just because that was a good price for me, like, is that a good price for the braiders? And I know y'all have seen on TikTok videos of braiders charging, in my opinion, a baffling amount of money for some braids. And let's also not forget that most of these braids just don't be lasting as long as they used to, right? I can't be the only one who feels that way. I remember like in the summer when I was 8 or 9, my braids, my box braids used to be lasting me the entire fucking summer. And don't get me wrong, by the end of them summer, them things was falling off the bone. But I still feel like they lasted quite a long while before they even get to that. And mind you, I also, when I was 8 or 9, I wasn't wearing a bonnet or doing any of that stuff. And it still was like okay after 3 months. But now I feel like whenever I get braids done, it just doesn't last as long. Now it's lasting like a month and a half before I have to go get them redone again. And I just wasn't sure if that was because my standards as a child for what constitutes like a good hairstyle is just different. Now, like maybe I just have higher standards now, but I just felt like that was super weird. Like I was like, yo, like what happened? Like, is it the braiders? Is it them? Like, are they just not giving the way our aunties and our mommies and our grandmas used to give? Like, and then I remembered, well, you know, most of the more popular types of braids are like knotless braids, right? And so those like do get older faster, depending also on your hair type as well. Like, cause on me, knotless braids do not last very long because I have 4C hair, as you can tell. I feel like the quality of the braids is going down, but the price of the braids is going up. So what's happening here? Where's the correlation? How can we meet You know what I'm saying? How much is too much for braids? And I just want to leave a disclaimer. I am never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever, never judging people for how they spend their money. It's your money. That ain't got nothing to do with me. If someone wants to go out there and spend $1,500 on some braids on their head, that is on your head. It's not like you're forcing me to pay. That's none of my business. It's just more so, like I said, a discussion about,
are these bitches scammers for real?
And that leads me to their next segment. So I have a problem with this statement. Charge your worth. A statement that I love, but also hate. I understand where people are coming from, right? If you went to school or you did whatever, you got your license or you did whatever, I think that there's a certain mentality that because anyone's a beginner, right, in any trade, but especially in like art or hair, cosmetics, whatever, that you should undercharge at the beginning, right? With anything that has to do with craft, you should undercharge in the beginning because you're a beginner and like you just need to put yourself out there. And I feel like now we're getting to the point where we're like, no bitch, like I need to make a living, I need to eat. So I'm going to charge my worth and I'm going to charge what I feel like I'm owed. And while I understand that, like, yeah, you shouldn't have to undercharge just because you're a beginner, like, don't set yourself up like that. Like, we're not boomers. Like, yeah, like, charge your worth. I also just don't love that statement because I feel like it places more emphasis on ego and less emphasis on actually getting feedback and like understanding your position. You know what I'm saying? I also don't like it because I feel like it also generates this mentality of putting the customer second. Now, you know, I don't believe that if you're a beginner, you have to cheat yourself, you know, like crazy to get ahead, right? Or to put a foot in the door, right? Like, that's a whole boomer thing. Like, we're not doing that. We're gonna charge like a decent amount and make our way. But I will say this, is that mentality of putting yourself first means that the customer has to come second. And what business model, what brand can you think of is successful while putting the customer second? None. We do understand that they are successful in part because they put the customer first. And so sometimes, but I feel like with some of these braiders, they're not interested in building a loyal client base. They're not interested in doing any of that. And I think part of that kind of comes with the whole supply and demand type of thing, right? There will always be more people who need braids than actual braiders to do it. And I think because of that and because they know they're gonna get customers regardless, sometimes their service and their customer service is so lackadaisical and terrible. And that's kind of fucked up, right? Because it's like, oh, I don't even have to treat you good. I know you're gonna come back anyway type of energy. And I just really don't fuck with that energy, like, at all. I think regardless, customer service should be your number one as a business. Remember, businesses were put on this planet to serve customers. So the fact that most of these girls' business models has absolutely nothing to do with the customer. No policies in place that protect the customer, only policies in place that protect the hairstylist. And I think that that's kind of messed up. Now, is it every single brand out there? No, of course not. But I think that when we ask ourselves what are some of the bad braiders out there, I feel like that's one of their main problems. So if you are a braider and you're watching this and you feel like maybe you've gotten some comments or some feedback, if y'all even take feedback, because very rarely do I see a review section at all under a braider's page, if they have a page. But, you know, maybe take some time to reflect and get feedback from what your customers are saying. And not just assuming everything went well because she paid you. I think providing a review section where people can review your work and your customer service is good, and it also just saves us fucking time because one thing I hate is I book a service with a lady and I don't know anything about her. Like, I should know your reputation before I book with you, and not just through word of mouth. I mean, having reviews of your service on your page, like, that just makes the most sense. But we're not seeing that. It's just very lackadaisical. It's very unprofessional. You have some of these girls who have pages that don't even have a website. Like, you have to text or DM to book. DM to book, fucking red flag. If you see a DM to book on anybody's page, I don't care if you know them personally, it's gonna be a no for me, sis, because you're a business. It doesn't take a lot of money to put together a website. I've seen girls literally make just Google forms. You don't even have to pay for a website. Make a little Google form that people can fill out when they want to book with you, and then have that be that. Because I understand not everyone can afford to pay for a website and keep a website running. I understand that. That's totally fine. But there's still things that you can do for free. There's still effort you can put in without breaking the bank. And I feel like that effort is not even being. But at the same time, I don't know the inner workings of running a hair shop. I'm not a braider, so, you know, I'm sure there are other costs than just braiding the hair for 8 hours, right? It's actually funny because I'm currently taking a managerial accounting class, and in such class we learn about why companies charge how much they charge. And the basics of it is there are 3 main expenses that a company has to account for, and that's direct labor, direct materials, and overhead. So direct labor is easy. It's the laborer, the employee, so in our case that would be the braider, and paying them by the hour to do their job. Then you have direct materials. So direct materials for a braider would be the hair if they provide it, the products that they use in the gel, the mousse, the whatever, the combs, the tools, the chair. Overhead is things that do not directly affect the service but still need to have. So the rent of her salon or wherever she is, the insurance, things of that nature, right? So overhead costs, right? So those are some of the main aspects that go into pricing. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, it's all of that and then times 4 for profits, right? So it's an upcharge of around 400%. Companies are more, some are less, though from my understanding, if it's less than 4%, you're not profitable enough, or you won't be. I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. I haven't finished the class yet. But yeah, so that's like the general consensus for pricing. So if you're a braider and you're watching this, that's what you should be basing your prices on, not on your worth. I'm sorry. Now, do things like skill level matter? Of course they do, and that would be part of your direct labor category, is deciding how much money you get an hour. So now, part of this segment, I actually have a few policies for braiders. Let me do my brows and then we'll come back. We're gonna look up braiders and see what it gives me for my area. Okay, so you have a few stuff. We have braids for style. Oh, okay, no, she looks like a pro. Yeah, she got like 800. Okay, let's see. Pricing and availability. Boom. Okay, link tree. Book with braider. Okay, so they have 2 different braiders, so we'll do the first one. Erica. Hello, and thank you for your interest in our services. Please take a moment to read below before you book an appointment. Okay, sis, period. Appointments with Lonice on Mondays and Saturdays are considered VIP only. Please do not book these appointments if you are not ready to pay the VIP fee. Fee is added at checkout. Oh, so they have a VIP. I don't mind VIPs. I think that that's fine. If you want to pay a little bit extra for a little extra zhuzh, it's like, that's fine. Please wear a mask. Yes, period. All clients must be 13 years or older. That's fine. If you're not booking a wash with your appointment, you agree to come with your hair washed sectioned into 4 parts and blown out. Okay, I'm not in love with the sectioned into 4 parts whole thing, because you can't just take the 4 seconds and section my hair. But the wash I understand. The blowout I'm not a huge fan of, because some people don't want to put heat on their hair, and I feel like a lot of braiders don't respect that. But it's not a deal breaker. Like, yeah, fine, like I'll blow dry my hair, but like I shouldn't have to do that, you know? Be on time. Up to 15 minutes late, you'll be charged a late fee of $10. After 15 minutes, your appointment will be canceled. Wait, up to 15 minutes is a late fee of $10. So if I come in 1 minute late, you finna charge me $10? I don't think that's what she's saying. I think that the policy just is not written very well. After 15 minutes, your appointment will be canceled. Deposit will be forfeited. That's fine. Do not bring any additional guests. That's fine. Extra fees. $10 for extra thick hair. I don't mind the whole thick hair. Yeah, I know. I don't mind the thick hair fee. The reason I don't is because originally I was a stickler. I was against it. Then I saw this TikTok I'm going to show you right now.
Personally, I do braids and I provide the hair. If you have thick hair, one, it's two different things to have a lot of hair in a small head. That's not a problem. But you can have thick hair and a big head. No offense. If you have a big head, you know you have a big head. You can have thick hair and a big head, and it's going to make me have to put more braids in your head. So how I do it, I do the same part and pattern for everybody's head. If you have more than 4 braids on your back row and I have to bricklay, that means every row up is going to have more braids based off of that back row. So once I see your back row and I see your back row have 5 braids, 6 braids, I have to charge you.
So she makes a good point, right? If your head is bigger or your hair is thicker, that requires either more braids, more hair, more party, more time, more labor, right? So I understand that. It's just hard when you say thick hair. It can come off as kind of texturous because it's saying like 4C. Like my hair is naturally thick, right? But I have like a smaller head. So it's like what? So because I have 4C hair, you're going to charge me more basically? Or girls who have the coarse hair fee, that's fucked up. The thick hair fee just has texturous undertones. Things to bring the day of your appointment. A towel to keep your back from getting wet. One can also be purchased for $3 at the salon. I gotta bring my own towel. A 40% non-refundable deposit is required to book your appointment. That's fine. The remainder of the balance is due in cash.
I don't get the whole thing about shit having to be cash.
I don't get that. I know that sometimes, listen, not to be, what's the word, self-hating, I understand that black girls don't pay sometimes.
I have to go to ATM. Oh, I'll get you that deposit. I'll cash up you tomorrow. I don't have it on me today, but I'm gonna get it to you tomorrow. Blah, 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 blah.
It's 2022. I don't know why we're pretending like people have cash on them like that, or that's a viable form of payment. If you're a braider, you should have debit, credit, cash, Zelle, PayPal, Cash App. If you want Cash App, because you don't get the deposit right away. So I honestly wouldn't even be mad at some girls who don't accept Cash App as payment. That's fine, because that shit takes forever. Again, this again reflects it's not a professional business practice. You're not acting like, and I hate to be that girl, you're not acting like how other professionals handle their business. So why do you expect professional treatment from your guests, you know? Okay, so now let's look at some of her prices. So the first thing I'm seeing here is medium knotless waist length with Erica. 6 hours, $360, hair is included. That's okay. It's a little pricey for me, but you can tell from their Instagram that they are kind of bougie. So I would be surprised that they upped their pricing. And also 6 hours is pretty fast. Like I know some braiders who it takes them like 8 hours just to do medium. Let's look at small. So small is 7 hours for $420. It's alright. Let me see what else they got. Braid takedown, $200. Oh, but a wash is included. Okay, that's actually not that bad. Overall, I'm not super upset. And again, looking at their page right now, they do look very professional in terms of this space. Like this seems like a private space. They have work. Oh, they have reviews. I love reviews because not a lot of businesses even have the reviews in the first place. Not bad. Not great, but not the worst I've ever seen. Let's deflect on what we just read. So another question I've been trying to, a theory I've been trying to ponder with myself, right, while going through some of these girls' pages and, seeing what we're seeing and listening to people's complaints is, can black people even afford braiders anymore? Because like I said, we didn't personally go through and dissect and deflect really how much it takes to be a braider, right? I'm not gonna turn this into a calculus fucking accounting lesson. But I think it's something to be said how the prices are going up and black girls just can't afford braids like how we used to. And I think that kind of sucks. I know we're in late stage capitalism or neo-feudalism, depending on who you ask. That's a new thing. And capitalism doesn't really benefit anybody, but as we're seeing with inflation of things like groceries and gas prices going up, maybe this is just inflation and it's just how it is. I don't know. So I see it one of two ways. It's either you just can't afford the service anymore, prices are going up, girls are getting, more braiders are out there, the demand is always higher than the supply, so of course the prices are going to be a little high, right? You just can't afford it. It's outside your tax bracket. Find someone who you can afford. And on the other side, a lot of these girls don't even have professional setups. They don't even have studios or hair salons. They don't wash your hair, offer that service prior, anything like that. They're just braiders. And so it's like, why are you charging salon prices for a rinky-dink at-home service? And I'm not trying to shit on people who can't afford a studio or anything, but I'm saying the overall experience is not even the standard, because if you go to a standard hair salon, whatever you're getting, they're still gonna wash and blow dry your hair at least. So yes, they're a little more expensive, but the experience is better. Now, another thing to keep in mind also, and I've been talking about this a lot more in regards to fast fashion, which I can definitely talk about in a separate video. If you guys would be interested, I will happily make a video about that. Fast fashion does distort the way we value labor and service and goods, right? Because like a t-shirt made ethically is a minimum of $30 with inflation and everything that's going on. But since we're used to Shein's $10 t-shirts, we think that the ethically charged store is overpricing. And maybe that's the same for braiders. Like most of us kind of grew up where our moms braided our hair, did box braids for us, or a friend, our mom's friend or whoever, auntie's friend did it for us and only charged us $100, or we didn't even have to pay for it at the time, right? Now, that you're getting it done professionally, we just don't see that value because we've always gotten it for cheap. We've always gotten it for the low. You know what I'm saying? Even though it wasn't ethical or it was just a favor. So let me know in the comments which one of those do you think it is? Do you think black people just can't afford braids, or they're overcharging, or a combination of both? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts, and please let me know how you felt about this style of video. I had a lot of fun making this. If you couldn't tell, I'm very relaxed. I'm very much in my comfort zone right now. I will happily, because I really do want to make videos like this in the future. So your feedback is always appreciated. But anyways, that's gonna do it for me. So like if you enjoyed, leave a comment of your thoughts. Make sure to smile. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to ring that bell notification button right after you subscribe. And I will see you all in the next one. I'm gonna go get some box braids now. Bye!